Luke chapter 16 and verse number 25. Son, Abraham said, remember that during your life you received your good things, just as Lazarus received bad things. But now he is comforted here while you are in agony. The story of the rich man and Lazarus in Luke 16 often gets caught up in debates and peripheral details. Many focus on whether this account is a parable or a true story, or they speculate about the nature of the afterlife. Questions about whether we will be conscious right after death, or whether we will see familiar biblical figures, or what it means that the rich man spoke of having a tongue even though he was no longer in his physical body. While these are interesting points to consider, they do distract from the central message of the story. The main point Jesus is making has everything to do with the way that the rich man treated Lazarus during their earthly lives. The rich man lived in luxury, comforted by his wealth, while Lazarus, suffering and destitute, lay at his door. Lazarus didn't ask for much, just crumbs from the rich man's table, but even that was denied to him. The rich man was in the perfect position to help Lazarus. He had the means, he had the opportunity, and he had the proximity. Lazarus was right at his doorstep, but the rich man chose to ignore him. And as a result, in the afterlife, their roles were reversed. Lazarus was comforted while the rich man suffered in torment. And even then, the rich man still saw Lazarus as beneath him, asking Abraham to send Lazarus to serve him by relieving his pain. The point of this story is that in this life, we have the opportunity to serve and care for those in need right now. We don't live in the next life yet. We live in the present, where we have people at our doorstep, those geographically close to us who need our help. The question becomes, will we share what we have with them? Will we extend comfort from our abundance or even from our leftovers to those who need it most? This story has deep political undertones as well, especially when we hear rhetoric about the poor, the underserved, and the immigrant being portrayed as threats to our comfort and well-being. But how we treat those in need, those right in our backyard, will determine who we are in this story. Are we Lazarus or are we the rich man? We like to think of ourselves as not rich. But if you're able to listen to this discourse online, you are likely wealthier than a large percentage of people in the world today. Nearly all of us alive today in 2024 are far richer than in previous generations. The question is not about how much we have, but how we use what we have to care for those in need.